Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we're gonna separate this video into probably two. Let me see if we can at least go back to. Yep. Okay. So Frankenstein laptop it's a laptop that's just many different pieces together. Like you have a flash drive, Apple Pie or Pi, um, a graphics card, just a random whatever screen attached to it, even like a notebook screen or like a Chromebook screen that's been modified. But why they look like Frankensteins is because they're all cobbled together out of many different parts of devices and whatever I found in an area. So like India's probably has a lot of computers that are just thrown away. So what they do is they'll just disassemble them and throw them every which way to where somebody has this hard drive and that graphics card and that flash drive and that Pi piece and that monitor to where, yeah, it's going to look like a Frankenstein. Okay, so on with the story. In Delhi's Nehru Place and Mumbai's Lamington Road, technicians are creating functional laptops from salvage parts of multiple discarded devices. There we go, right there. Multiple discarded devices. These, quote, Frankenstein, unquote, machines sell for approximately $110, 110 US dollars, going up or down based on how the dollar fluctuates. A fraction of the 800 price tag for new models. Yeah, but the issue with Frankensteins, you might not necessarily get new parts, quote unquote new parts, yeah. Okay, technicians extract usable components, like I said earlier, motherboards, capacitors, screens, batteries, yep, batteries, from e-waste sourced locally and from countries like Dubai. Oh, look, China. Well, at least they're recycling, quote unquote. Okay, quote, most people don't care about having the latest model. They just want something that works and won't break the bank, unquote. Which I can agree with that because it's inexpensive. You're building an inexpensive product out of expensive parts. So it does make it does make it useful to the everyman. A technician told Verge. This repair ecosystem operates within a larger battle against tech giants pushing planned obsolescence, which is why you gotta update everything. Update all the time. No, give us the same thing and don't require us to update. Through proprietary designs, looking at you, Apple, and restricted parts access. Many technicians source components from Singapore. Oh, India's largest e-waste hub, processing 30,000 tons daily. The workers there handle toxic materials with minimal protection. Okay, so what's probably toxic would be the batteries. trying to think what else would be toxic. Maybe some of the material that, yeah, like screens could be could be toxic. Uh, screens could, hmm, screens are toxic. What other computer parts are toxic? Let me know down in the comments down below. India's, okay. Quote, India has always had a repair culture, unquote. A repair culture. Like, I don't know, those farmers in America who now they can't take their farming equipment apart because of John Deere's. I don't know why the camera keeps doing that. It's starting to be annoying. We'll have to uh, switch to the laptop in the near future for recording purposes. Okay, so a repair culture like the the farmers who use tractor equipment that John Deere suddenly has a agreement with whatever the maybe Apple, one of the audio companies to put pieces uh, p- pieces of equipment into their tractors, which takes away the right to repair them. So no, we're America is for some reason quote unquote against repairing things, and let's just buy the new thing to replace the old thing and throw the old thing away. Not efficient. Says, okay, try this again. Okay, forcing people to buy new devices. Yep, right there, right there. It's like buy the consume product. Get ready, get excited for next product. To quote that one internet meme. Okay, next story. Blue Sky can't take a joke. Um, this is self-explanatory, I think, because of because of all the people on it who are not funny. Yeah, so okay, let's go ahead and read it. Actually, take a minute to digest while I take a couple spoonfuls, and maybe read the story yourself to try to come up with a clap back in the comments. We can probably make numbers go up. Nope. Okay. Got some more buildings, probably. Let's do that to all. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and go with the story. On Blue Sky, the joke's on you if you don't get the joke. The social network has become a, quote, refuge, unquote, for those fleeing X and Threads. I don't know what Threads is. It might be another social media platform. But its growing pains include a serious case of humor impairment. Human impairment too, like I almost just said. Okay. When Amy Brown Amy? Good. I did go. Oh, Katie. Okay. I went to school with a Katie Brown. Not Amy. Okay. Katie Brown. I had a little bit of a crush on her. Maybe more than a little bit. She might see this in the future, but probably not. Okay. Jokingly posted she was, quote, screaming, crying, and throwing up, unquote, about price differences between Ohio and California Walgreens. Literal-minded users scolded her for exaggerating. Okay, yeah, she was exaggerating. Okay, yeah. Brown, a former Wendy's social media manager who got banned from X after impersonating Elon Musk, puts it simply, quote, we're both speaking English, but I'm speaking internet, unquote. Okay, then maybe don't speak internet? Well, whatever. This clash stems from Blue Sky's oddly mixed population, irony-steeped Twitter refugees, also known as irony-steeped. Why would irony-steeped people leave Twitter? I don't think that's a correct assessment. Mingling with earnest Facebook transplants. Okay, I can see Facebook transplants coming, are going on the Blue Sky, and MSNBC viewers. Who are these guys? We know who these guys are. They're the leftists. They're the leftists who left Blue Sky, or who left Twitter because they couldn't take the heat. when all the conservatives, when all the people on the right came back and started clapping back. Oh yeah. We know who these guys are. These are the guys who can't take a joke. These guys, Twitter refugees, those people can take a joke. These guys can't. Who took the plunge after seeing the platform mentioned on shows like Morning Joe. Oh, you mean propaganda? Like propaganda like Morning Joe? Sounds like that's a better description for them. Quote, it's riff collapse, unquote, says cartoonist Matty Lubchansky, describing how her obviously absurd Oscar post triggered sincere movie recommendations. Yeah, obviously. Whatever. Okay, that's enough for that story. US's AI lead over China rapidly shrinking, Stanford report says. From Axios. Okay. Digest, read it, comment, take another bite. Without reading any of the article, AI lead. Okay, so they're going to cover probably the Chinese AI that just came over here. They're probably going to cover more people over there working on AI to try to get it better. One more guess? No. Let's read the article. Okay. The U.S. is still the global leader for now, but China has closed the gap considerably. Institutions based in the U.S. produced 40 AI models of note in 2024, compared with 15 from China and 3 from Europe. Oh, the 3 from Europe. Let's see. Do you need a license? A license for that, mate? Do you need a license for one of those AI? According to the 8th edition of Stanford's AI Artificial Intelligence Index released on Monday. However, the report found that Chinese models have rapidly caught up in quality. Ooh. Okay. One of those is the one I was talking about that came over here, noting that Chinese models reached near parity in 2 key benchmarks after being behind leading U.S. models by double-digit percentage a year earlier. Plus, it said China is now leading the U.S. in AI publications and patents. Okay. I wonder if we can get a hold of one of these. One of these publications, because I've got interest to read through it to see what they're doing, how they're fixing issues with it. The one thing about the Chinese AIs, though, is they do not like nudity. So if you're using a Chinese AI to try to generate images of people with their clothes off, you're not able to do it. Source, citation. Too many people I know who are using AI have that current opinion. One thing that they're doing to combat that is if a AI image or a video has like a cross, like a cross symbol in it, like a Christian cross or something like that, it does go through the filters. They might have fixed that by now, but I'm not sure. Okay, next story. No, the dire wolf has not been brought back from extinction. Okay, let me see. Why would they want to bring it back? Question mark. Don't know. Do not know. By all, upgrade by all, and by all, and by all. Okay. Okay, so Colossal Biosciences has claimed it, quote, successfully restored, unquote, the extinct direwolf after a, quote, 10,000 plus year absence, unquote. But scientists clarify these are actually genetically modified gray wolves. Okay. The U.S. company announced 3 pups, males Remus and Romulus, born in October. Remus and Romulus were the twins who were twin Greek or Roman gods. Can't remember, but they were born and raised by wolves. Born to humans, raised by wolves. So they had wolf properties, I will say. And female Khaleesi. If you're going to use the name Khaleesi, you better be naming a freaking dragon. That you're not. You'd be better off naming it her Arya or Sansa or Marjorie. Marjorie would be a good name for a female direwolf, even though Marjorie is known for more of the flower, the flora aspect of flora and fauna. Okay, as dire wolves, but made only 20 genetic edits to gray wolves. That's interesting. So, how many genetic edits do they need to have to be considered dire wolves? That's an interesting question. Beth Shapiro, is she related to Ben? Question mark. And is she Jewish? Question mark. Of Colossal told New Scientist that just 15 modifications were based on direwolf DNA, primarily targeting size, musculature, and ear shape. Okay, so 15 modifications, but 20 genetic edits. To be comparable to direwolf DNA? Where did we get the direwolf DNA from? Did we get it from like a sample caught in a tree or question mark? Okay. Okay, so we got size. Dire wolves are bigger than natural wolves, which would affect the next thing, musculature, because since they're bigger, they need more muscles to engage in movement, proper movement. And ear shape, let's see, regular wolves are probably like this, maybe. So maybe like dire wolves are more like this, like closer to a cat, maybe? Question mark. Okay. Okay. So here's the other. Okay, five other changes involve mutations known to produce light coats in gray wolves. So lighter coats to help them blend in uh, with the environment. Okay. A 2021 DNA study revealed dire wolves and gray wolves last shared a common ancestor about 6 million years ago, with jackals and African wild dogs more closely related to gray wolves. That's interesting. Neat. We learned something today. Okay, next one. States are banning forever chemicals. Industry is fighting back. Okay. Forever chemicals. Okay, we take a bite and we think about it. Okay, so the forever chemicals. Let me guess. Red 40, and the different food coloring that goes into our food. Soy-based products, maybe. Let's see. Forever chemicals, like maybe the ones they use in canning, like the salt, to keep canned things fresh, because that adds a lot of sodium to the product itself. Alright, well, let's get into the article. New Mexico's legislature passed bills last week that would ban consumer products containing PFAS. Okay, what does this mean? What is PFAS? I have no idea what that is. So let's go ahead and look it up. What is PFAS? Search and ask. Per and polyfluoroalkyl substances are a group of synthetic organofluorine chemical compounds that have multiple fluorine atoms attached to an alkyl chain. Okay, Teflon. Okay. Products that resist heat, oil stains, grease, and water. They are now used in products including waterproof fabric, nylon yoga pants, carpet shampoo, feminine hygiene products, food packaging. Okay, so we're eating food packaging. Okay. And the insulation of electrical wire. Okay, so we found that out. So PFAS, okay. So is Teflon going to become harder to get now? That's a good question. Okay. Persistent forever chemicals. If signed by the governor, the legislation would prohibit the sale of many products with added per and alkyl substances (PFAS) in New Mexico, making it the third state after Maine and Minnesota to enact such comprehensive restrictions. Okay, so you cannot buy a Teflon jacket in New Mexico, Maine, or Minnesota anymore. Hilarious. Okay. At least 20 United States have PFAS-related bills before state legislatures this year, according to Safer States, a network of advocacy organizations. Safer States. Okay, so question: are you also against pedophiles too? Let's look. Let's look into these guys. SaferStates.org. Okay. See what they're up against. Okay. Okay. Yep. There we go. State legislation addressing toxic chemical plastics. Okay. Healthier world, clean, and environmental justice. Okay. So do not pollute, and don't throw your cans or your cigarette butts out the window. Responsible corporate leadership, incentivize to develop safe consumer products that do not contain toxic chemicals. So you're basically saying, hey, let's not make laptops anymore. Let's not make computers anymore. Computers have toxic chemicals. Are we suddenly supposed to make green computers? You're hilarious. Oh no. We're killing the indigenous peoples of the Arctic. You know, you can call them their normal name, like Eskimos, because isn't that what they're called? Okay, so where do the toxic chemicals of plastics interact with the indigenous people? Do seals devour plastic? Do birds eat plastic? Yes, they do, but the question is not whether these products harm the wildlife, but how are we supposed to stop these toxic chemicals of plastic from harming the wildlife? Health disparities. Okay, hemispheric sink for chemicals and plastics that are transported on atmospheric and oceanic currents from lower latitudes. Okay, so basically all the stuff we throw in the water or we throw in the air, like the hairspray stuff, it all travels up to the Arctic and down to the Antarctic. Effective prevent the production, use, and disposal of dangerous substances that contaminate our traditional foods and bodies. Okay, you tell Joe Schmo down the street to stop throwing water bottles in the trash then, and see what he tells you. He'll tell you to get the fuck out of his house. That's what he'll tell you. Sure, we can recycle. What does recycling do? Not as much as you think it does. Governments must step up to protect innocent people, blah. Oh, she got cancer because of PFAS chemicals. Okay, citation needed. Through no fault of her own. Okay. So she's not supposed to go outside and breathe the air. She's not supposed to drink the water because cancer's in the water, cancer's in the air. No, there's got to be other mitigating circumstances you don't just develop cancer out of out of drinking water or breathing in the air. That's no. You get you get the obligatory spoonful of bullshit for that. Really? Where does it say this in the Constitution? Clean and safe drinking water is a human right. Where does that say that in the Constitution? Where does that say that in any other country's laws and regulations? Where does it say that? Citation needed. No. It's clean and safe drinking water can be made like that, like a snap. All you can boil salt water. You can. There's many things like the Brita filters, and other associated filters that you can use to filter out your water. There's tons of products on the market. There's just so many ways. You can just boil your water to get at least like most of the contaminants out of it. And anyway, you're up in the cold area. Maybe you guys just need a water advisory 100% of the time. If you're gonna claim that you got cancer because some stupid stupid glass of water gave you cancer. Products that are free of chemicals that can harm us is a basic. No, it is not a basic expectation. We use computers. We use smartphones. We use televisions. All of those have chemicals in them that we're exposed to every day. We live in houses that have insulation. Insulation is dangerous. Asbestos is dangerous. Lead in the water is dangerous. That's Flint, Michigan. All up in that. But no, products that are free of chemicals is a basic expectation. You make everything without chemicals. What do you have? Nothing. Roads are made of chemicals. Are those dangerous? Yes, because we drive cars on them every day. Cars are made of chemicals that can harm us. Cars can harm us because we can run into people. Or we can drive into something, drive off of something. We can lower the garage door and run the engine and die of carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide is a dangerous chemical. The only reason carbon monoxide gets made is because we put gasoline into our engine, and the gasoline gets combusted into those chemicals that make the engine run. Even the batteries. Batteries have chemical. Batteries are made out of chemicals. We use batteries in everything. There's batteries in your cell phone. This thing right here, this is a battery in your cell phone that causes your cell phone to work, and it's made of chemicals. And you know what else you can do with this? You can take this out and you can start a fire with it. So it has multiple uses. It is a dangerous chemical, yes. Do we need to be free? Do we need to have products that are free of chemicals? Here, just America's law will ban the use of quote quote, forever chemicals, unquote. Whatever. Stop exposure to deadly, yeah. Is cancer deadly? Yes, but no. Not all cancers are deadly. The cancer that Jim Medicare has is deadly, because at some point he'll cease to exist. But he didn't get cancer because of PFAS chemicals. He got cancer because of Ethan Ralph. Okay. Let's see. Thousands of farms. Sewage flood and groundwater contamination. Okay, this is current events. When farm, yep, okay. Farms, farm workers, and families. Not just them, but the people who ingest the products, the the vegetables that get harvested from them. Yeah, the product. Yeah, the products. Yeah, like carrots and whatever. Just any vegetable, any corn which gets fed to cows, and then cows which get butchered for us to eat from the local markets. We all want safe food. Safe food. Safe according to who? We want bland food? Is that what you're saying? We want to eat the bugs? We want... No. Keep farmland free. Okay. You know what else is toxic? Insecticide. And farmers have to spray that on there to keep the insects from eating their plants, from eating their vegetables, from eating their quote-unquote existence. So yeah, pesticides are necessary. Maybe like between the farmer delivering to the storage facility, get it washed off, get the chemicals as removed as possible until there's like maybe like a 0.01 percentage still existing. Like something got inside of a kernel really deep, and that's not something that a light wash can wash out. No more careless disposal of sludge. Okay, where do you suggest we put this the sludge at then? Should we put it at your house? Or do you want to take care of the sludge? In America Express package, we need to get PFAS out of production wherever possible. Okay, so that's also saying no more Teflon armor, no more yoga mats, no more whatever, all the associated other products that we make out of that. Okay, so how should we replace that? What replaces a PFAS in a material like that, in a Teflon vest, a bulletproof vest? What are you going to put instead? Spider silk? Don't make me make a worm reference, because I will. PFAS, okay, he's an impacted farmer. Okay, which means that his land is on places that is on water sources that carry harmful chemicals through them. Okay, so sir, Mr. Nordell, this is directed to you. You know what you can do with the water sources that are coming onto your property and negating your or negatively affecting your products, maybe you could run it through a filter. Run your water source through a filter that filters out every single chemical out of your water. Do you realize how expensive that's going to be? That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. Unless you go all the way upstream and route all of the people who are dumping garbage in your water and try to stop it at the source. That is the only way you will get to clean water. The two ways. Stop it at the source or just filter it out 100%. Okay. Hi, Karen. I know your name is Sarah, but I'm going to call you Karen because your quote will probably be a Karen quote without even reading it. Okay. Quote. States are leading the charge in protecting public health by not only cleaning up toxic pollution, but also preventing it happening in the first place. Okay, I like this. This is fine. Cleaning up toxic pollution, okay, and also preventing it from happening. That's fine. I'm fine with that because that's solving a problem. Okay. No one wants microplastics or Really, Karen? Really, Karen? No one wants microplastics or chemicals linked to cancer in their food, water, or everyday products. No duh. You don't even need to say this. This is common. This is a normal opinion. This is a normal opinion. We don't want our plastic bottles to be throwing negatively occurring chemicals in our body. Are chemicals linked to cancer? Whatever. Okay, let's go for the next Karen statement. By taking bold action to keep these blah 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 states are safeguarding your health and saving money by solving the problem. Okay. Saving money by solving the problem. I agree with that. Bold action. What's bold? What bold action? Citation needed. Citation needed. Also, harmful chemicals. Who decides what's harmful? Because you know what? Air is harmful. Water is harmful. Cars are harmful. Do you want everybody to drive electric cars that have no carbon monoxide coming out of their exhaust pipe? Everybody's got to drive a Tesla. Oh wait, aren't you guys firebombing Teslas because of your dislike of a particular person? That seems to be a headline I've heard a little bit recently. Yeah, so keeping the harmful chemicals, yet destroying vehicles that are actually helpful to the environment. Isn't that kind of a paradox, a contradiction? Keeping the harmful chemicals out of our communities. You're basically saying ban Tesla. Ban Teslas because the fire bombings create smoke. And smoke is harmful chemical. Okay, whatever. Oh, firefighters. You were a firefighter. Okay, I might respect your comment. Okay, if wherever chemicals are killing us. Okay, never mind. Your opinion is disregarded. Washington, Seattle, Washington. We know where you're coming from. ban Teslas, was the first to ban PFAS and firefighting foam, and requires companies to disclose their use in our turnout gear. Okay, so let me say, after the ban, but after the ban, are you more or less effective at fighting fires? Come on, let's see those numbers. Let's see if banning the PFAS has has benefited a positive or a negative result in the number of fires you guys are capable of fighting. Because if it's not, something tells me that you, sir, have a little bit of an agenda. Maybe there's some fingers greasing your palms here by making this statement. Not accusing you of anything, but it's interesting what happened to the money trail after the ban. What happened to the money trail? More money or less money? And if it was more money, where did it end up going? If it's less money, maybe you're not as effective as you should be. We led the nation. Oh, on the banning, okay. Now we need to finish the job and ban these toxic chemicals, clean up contamination, and hold polluters responsible. Okay, polluters. Basically big corporations who don't care where they throw their waste. I'm fine with that, holding polluters responsible. Okay. Alright, Cindy Loopy. Okay. You're gonna also be called a Karen. Yeah, you seem to have a bit of a Karen position here. Okay, quote, time and time again, we see state policy transform key market sectors towards safer products. Yeah, we know about that. Allies across the country are allies. Red flag word. Are actively pushing for retailers to eliminate more toxic chemicals and plastics from the products on their shelves and move to safer solutions across the board. So safer means more expensive, which means higher prices, which means smaller businesses shutting down. So are you Karen? Is this Karen in the pocket of big industry to close down more of the, I'll say, the businesses who cannot support losing products? Okay, we don't need to watch. We don't need to look at the rest of it. We don't care. Yeah, research show PFAS. Back to the story. Shows PFAS accumulate in the environment and human bodies. Okay, potentially causing health problems from high cholesterol to cancer. We've seen cancer already talked about. High cholesterol. Okay, that's interesting. EPA figures indicate almost half Americans are exposed to PFAS in their drinking water. Okay, how do we fix this? If they're exposed to them, how do we fix this? One thing, chemical control at the source of contamination in either a filtration or a proper movement of the negative chemicals to a proper waste disposal facility. Comment section. Let me know if you have a possible solution.
Times are you gonna say that?
Okay. Wired reports that chemical and consumer products industries are aggressively fighting state level bans on quote forever chemicals unquote through lobbying and legal action as regulations spread across the United States. Okay, chemical and consumer product industries. So let's see, computer industry, chemical, probably the food industry, because food are considered chemicals. The medical industry. Who else throws stuff into our wastewater? Industrial, let's say, I'm not going to say coal, even though I might be correct in that assumption. Nuclear power plants? Question mark. Aggressively, yep. Okay. Cookware Sustainability Alliance, formed in 2024 by major cookware manufacturers, has testified in 10 state houses against PFAS restrictions. Oh, cookware, okay. So they use PFAS in cookware. And sued Minnesota, claiming its ban is unconstitutional. Okay. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. It's unconstitutional because you're telling a company what they can and cannot make. Regardless of scientific evidence to the otherwise. Cookware. Yeah, because they make a lot of stuff out of cookware. But is the cookware safe? That's a good question. Is the cookware safe? Which cookware companies are it? Major cookware manufacturers. Is there waste created by creating cookware? Something to look into. Something to think about. Comments? Okay. New Mexico bills include notable exemptions, particularly, used in non-stick cookware. Non-stick cookware. Okay, non-stick cookware. Yeah, because non-stick, that's fine, because the food doesn't stick to it, and therefore no chemicals get into the food when you're eating it off the cookware, or making it in the cookware. Industry groups are also targeting federal regulators, with the American Chemistry Council and others recommending the EPA adopt a narrow definition of PFAS. Okay, I see what's going on here. You guys, the American Chemistry Council, are saying they're telling people what the chemical is supposed to be. What the chemical is supposed to be used for, narrowing the distribution of the chemical itself. Which means other companies would have a harder time getting that particular chemical, which means that the council where are they getting their money from? Where's the council getting their money from? Where's the council getting their clout from? They may know things, but they may also be paid like comparative to a football team paid by a specific company within the industry. I'm saying may here, I'm saying might. Speculation. There might be money going into their pockets by one company who wants to shut down these other companies from getting that chemical so that the one company gets all the profit. Very sneaky. That's mafia-like tactics. Okay, quote, the federal regulatory approach is preferable to a patchwork of different and potentially conflicting state. There we go. There we go. The federal deciding what the states do. No. Nope. We can't have that. If a state wants to poison its people, it's their right to. Yeah, right there. Okay. Said Eric Shea from the American Chemistry. Yeah, okay. We can read between the lines, Eric. We can read between the lines here. We know what you're trying. We know what you're saying without saying it. What you're saying is there's a big company that wants to, let's say, collude with your organization to stop the smaller companies from obtaining this chemical. Yeah. No. Wait, this? You, sir, you get another bullshit spoonful. But a spoonful of bullshit, whatever. That, however I'm gonna term it. It's funny. Okay. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more stories. Okay. So we can just. About finished here, so we can just zoom right through them. Okay. And after the video is over, I could have some sherbet or whatever it's called. Product review forthcoming. Okay, so Framework stopped selling some of its laptops in the U.S. due to tariffs. So basically, they couldn't afford it. One, they couldn't afford it. Two, well, two goes along with number one, the high shipping costs to customers. So I wonder if they're not a United States-based company to begin with, so shipping to the United States was starting to negatively influence their profit margin. And let's see. Okay, Framework, a company that makes upgradable and repairable. Oh, okay. Upgradable and repairable laptops. That's interesting. Well, pause sale. Okay, pausing. Yeah, pausing sales. The headline is false. The headline is the headline is not true. It's paused sales on several versions of one of its models in America, thanks to Trump's tariffs. It said, okay, several versions of one of its models. So maybe either the less expensive ones or the more expensive ones. I'm going for lower end and higher end. and middle ones should probably be okay. It's probably either the lower ends are too expensive to ship, or the higher end, are too expensive to ship and not worth the cost. Okay. All right. From a report, quote, due to new tariffs that came into effect on April 5th, we're temporarily pausing U.S. sales on a few base framework laptop 13 systems, Ultra 5, 125H, and Ryzen 5. Okay, so now. So these strike me as some of the high end ones, like the Ryzen 5. Okay, these might be the more high end ones. Maybe because they're having trouble getting the parts for them? Question mark. Okay, for now these models will be removed from our US site. We will continue to provide updates as we have them. The framework said in a post on X. A spokesperson for Framework told 404 Media in an email that the company was pausing sale. Six lowest priced units. Yeah, those. Okay, they clarified that those models are still available to customers that are ordering the machines outside of America. Okay, six lowest. Okay, so I was incorrect. These are probably some of the low end models then. Because six lowest price units, because it might be cost prohibitive for shipping. Okay. Alright. Oh boy. Oh boy. Another. What? Yet another freaking cord to get. A GPMI cord. A powerful alternative to HDMI and DisplayPort. Powerful alternative to HDMI. So suddenly the market cap on HDMI cords is going to start going down real quick. Because stores like Best Buy and other stores that carry stuff like that will probably start marking them down and just throwing them out the door for discount prices. That's going to be great seeing that because of this new thing, GPMI. They better use the same connectors, damn it. Okay. Amy Mojo writes, the Shenzhen 8K UHD Video Industry Cooperation Alliance. Oh, Ultra HD, okay. A group made up of more than 50 Chinese companies, okay. Just released a new wired media communication standard called the General Purpose Media Interface. Okay. I like that name. Our GPMI. The standard was developed to support 8K, reduce the number of cables required to stream data and power from one device to another. Stream data and power. I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. Because you still will need two cords unless the connector in between the visual device and the whatever's connected to the visual device, and then the power supply for what you're viewing, what you're viewing on the digital device. Sorry, let me put this on real quick. I do like it a little bit. Okay. According to HKEPC, the GPMI cable comes in two flavors. A Type B that seems to have a proprietary connector. Okay, I immediately don't like that. Proprietary connector, I immediately don't like that. and a Type-C that's compatible with USB-C standard. Okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah, because that's a standard that already exists. Okay, because 8K has 4 times the number of pixels in 4K and 16 more pixels in 1080p resolution. That means that GPMI is built to carry a lot more data than other current standards. There are other variables that can impact required bandwidth, of course, such as color depth and refresh rate. Okay, the GPMI Type-C connector is said to have maximum bandwidth of 96 gigabytes per second and deliver 240 watts of power. Okay, what can 240 watts of power actually power? Okay, convert to multiply watts in time by hours. How many kilowatts? 24 kilowatts. Okay, that's not the question I wanted to ask. 200 can power what? Fucking Jackery volts. Okay, yeah. Okay, convert. Okay, to volts equals two. Oh, okay, 240. Okay. Um, is 240 watts enough power? Okay, so it seems to be an okay enough number? Question mark. Okay, it was more than double the 40 gigabytes per second data limit of USB 4 and Thunderbolt 4. Double if okay, so 80. Yeah, allowing you to transport more data on the cable. However, it seems the same power limit as that of the latest USB Type-C. That's fine. Connector using extended power range standard. GPMI Type B beats all our cables, though, with the spectrum bandwidth of 192 gigabytes per second and power delivery up to 480 watts. Okay, so you really don't need this then, currently? Maybe? Maximum bandwidth of 192 gigabytes per second. If what America will need to do then is we'll need to like convert it somehow. Okay, Waymo use interior camera data to train. Okay. Okay, from interior of cars, from robotaxis to train AI models. Okay. Personalized ads. Yeah. Okay, opt out. Okay. My question is, how can this be used if a woman gets in the car and then takes off all her clothes? Okay. UK bans fake reviews and sneaky fees for online products. Sneaky hidden fees. What? Okay, products that include all mandatory fees within a product's advertised price, including booking or administration charges. Direct pricing, like platform service charges. Oh. Okay. We see another shipping experience. Yeah, raft of extra fees. Yep. Okay. That's fine. Fake reviews though. This article doesn't look like it's about fake reviews. It's about more fees. Fake reviews. would be probably from like somebody who does actually bought the product or whatever, or watched the movie. This is probably meant to uh, combat people brigading and negatively responding to a a movie, or even positive brigading and positively over positively responding to a movie review with like standing it pretty much. Scientists weight actual weight of the internet. Okay. Physical mass remains contested, with estimates ranging from a strawberry to something almost imaginably small. Okay, calculate 50 grams based on server energy, a figure that would now equate to potato weight given internet growth. Okay. Uh, Approximately 53 quadrillionths of a gram at room temperature. Alternatively, projected 175 zettabytes of data were stored in DNA. Storage medium. Okay, it would weigh 9. Okay, equivalent to 10 males. Okay, debate measurement methods. White asserts that the web's true complexity makes it essentially unknowable. Unquote. So, so I'll leave this video off with a comment. How much do you with a comment question? How much do you guys think the internet weighs? How much content do you view on the internet from a day-to-day basis? Like, do you just watch YouTube videos? What YouTube videos are like this particular one that you're watching right now? It's probably going to be like maybe 10 to 20 gigabytes, depending. I don't know. Just adds more content to the internet. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Appreciate the spoon of bullshit, because it will come. It will return. And watch the bigger numbers get bigger for a little bit. See if we can buy anything. Buy all, upgrade, buy all, upgrade, buy all, nope, can't upgrade. And buy all. And we'll see what that did. Okay, so now we have 5. Alright, so yeah, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video. Just do whatever you feel like. Oh. Let's see. There we go. There we are. Take care of yourselves and have a good day.